What's been good, guys? Long time.
It's been a minute.
We started already.
Yeah, go for it. We started.
Hey.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Been a pandemic minute, you know.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
It's never ending, right?
Bro, they're saying they're gonna be let out soon, innit? We'll be let out, you know, to enjoy.
I know, man.
It's true, man.
They keep moving the goalposts, like they're treating us like a rabbit in a cage with carrots. Let's keep dangling. Let's dangle the carrot. That's why I say. That's why I say it's a scamdemic. But hey, that's a can of worms you can open another day.
Because trust me, man.
No, we could listen.
That was going to the pandemic, yeah.
I don't think you brought Kwame and Isaac here to talk about the pandemic.
For a minute, yeah, they had me feeling like Akon. They got me locked. And I'm ready. I'm ready to get out of this place.
It's mad. It's mad still. When I sit there and think about it, yeah, and I see this little roadmap they're putting it out to say when we're going to release everything.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm thinking I could see these guys
Back.
on the 22nd of June, 12 at night, saying, yeah, you know, we got to go into lockdown.
BS,
Again.
right?
You know what's there? Like,
There was
yeah.
some third wave BS that is this and
No,
that.
it's not up in Europe, innit?
Listen.
What, it's peaking Europe?
Yeah, it's going, bruv. There's a third wave in Europe, man.
Yeah, man. I can see them doing.
But how does that make sense?
They'll do it again this summer. I'm pretty sure, man.
No. You need to relax, bro. You don't need to put
I
this
think
into the
the
edit.
whole.
It's money in it.
No, do you know why? Right? Because I think basically, I don't know if you clocked up. I think the whole agenda is to get everyone vaccinated.
Yeah.
Get a majority, or at least the majority of UK vaccinated. Then they're like, okay, cool. Once they hit their quota, all right, you guys can go out and live. Oh, by the way, you can't do this unless you have this.
Big man, I can't lie, yeah. I take my vaccination. I wait for the next jab. I'm trying to just live life. Let me get out of here.
Oh, shit.
Let me go back. I'm tired.
I
yeah?
respect you. But listen, my brother, yeah, he keeps on sending me, like, I'm not this conspiracy theory type of guy, but this guy keeps on sending me these videos, of these people who have taken this vaccine and they just messed up.
It looks crazy.
Just seeing someone that's like spazzing out and doing
It looks crazy.
Then you're hearing all this stuff about this person's getting blood clots and this vaccine's causing blood clots and this, that, and other. And I'm like, right, when you actually look at the history of vaccinations, we understand now. More often than not, it's taken years of studies.
True.
Yeah.
Years of history, analysing the impacts, what it does to people. This has taken less than a year.
Yeah.
And they full force, like, whatever happens to people, we don't care, push that vaccine. And there's different vaccines as well. And it's like, okay, what one is this vaccine actually going to protect us? Because it's still not clear to me anyway. Because people are saying they can get 2 doses, yet they can still get the...
Yeah, but with any vaccination, it's not 100% in it.
Yeah,
it's not.
When we got to go to Ghana, we have to get the yellow fever vaccination.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that you're immune from a yellow fever. You can still get yellow fever when you go out.
No.
So what's
I
the
don't think
difference
you need
between...
it anymore now. When you
Yeah,
go to
no,
Ghana.
You
don't need it.
do.
You still need it?
You still need a certificate, yeah.
Because my parents,
I got the yellow
told me
money
they live in Ghana,
thing,
told me they don't really need it.
What's that?
I got the little yellow book.
Yeah.
You have to pay fees at the airport.
Bruv.
So money thing.
Mine is expired, but I'm still keeping my passport.
It lasts
You can still
forever.
let me
It
through.
lasts forever,
It lasts forever. So you don't need to like go get another top up, but you need to have the
This is the
certificate.
certificate thing.
Yeah.
Last time they wrapped me up. Oh,
I got away last time, actually.
they see me,
But
they're
I
like,
forgot mine.
you haven't got your... Just come into this room here.
Yeah.
I was like, bro, you know what's that? Bro, listen, I ended up paying something like £20 or
I'm
£30.
telling you, it's a money thing.
Literally. And they were like, yeah, boom. Then they stamped it and put for life.
Wow.
So in my head I was thinking, right, should I say this? Should I say anything? Should I not say anything? I just closed it and went, you know what's there?
The last time I was there, coming back, they asked me for it.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, yo. And
Oh, they're coming back?
Coming back. I was pissed off early, bro. I'm just like, look, I'm leaving.
Right?
Yeah, I'm on the way out. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, relax.
They're trying
Are you going to keep me here and then let me go? They don't make sense.
Nah,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
And he's looking at me and I'm looking at
We're
him.
just looking at one another.
It was just like, yo, that certificate's in my bag. If you want me to go get it from my bag, it's already been put on the airline. So what do you want me to do? He's looking at me, I'm looking at him. I'm just like, yo, I need to go in it. He's like, okay, next time, can you please relax? I was like, you need to relax. I'm leaving. If I had it, I'm taking it back wherever I go anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
No, it's mad. It's mad.
How do you guys find see, like when you go to Ghana, yeah? How do you find the reception now with the Ghanaians, the local Ghanaians, because of this whole year of return and, you know, all this big massive explosion of like celebrities and people flying to Ghana. How'd you guys? Because obviously you lot went recently, innit? You lot went in 20.
You was there. Was you there last year?
You lot,
I was there. I just came back.
Oh, yeah,
in Feb.
in February, innit?
Yeah.
He was there for months, man.
Yeah, I was
I was
enjoying a
like,
couple
true,
weeks.
He's talking about locked up.
I'm saying, guys, I've been fronting like, how can I be complaining about look?
No, tell me
I
this.
spent 2 months of it
2 months
in the sunshine.
Man said 2 months.
I'll tell you what, right? One of the YGP ladies, I won't say her name just in case, right? She's in Ghana right now, right? She's literally just like, look, I'm just gonna work remotely in Ghana for like the rest of the year, whatever, right? Easter holidays just went past, right? And she's like, oh man, Easter's done now. I gotta go back to work. I'm like, yo, you're in Ghana, you know, like
Go back to work, you know. Just means, I got to log in again.
I'll take a life contract in Ghana to work there from home. Like, that's calm.
fair, yeah.
But in terms in relation to your question,
Yeah.
like when I was out there, I think it was a bit of a different vibe because the year before was like there was people
Busy.
from a lot of
Jumping.
Americans,
Jumping.
and it was mad.
Jumping.
It was mad.
Peak.
Let's just say it was. I mean, it was to the point where there was so many different vibes that there was more than one option on any given night.
Yeah.
It's just.
I don't think I know you were supposed to go. You were supposed to go.
Watch it.
You were supposed to be there.
I was supposed to go.
Like,
Yeah.
it was
I think
mad.
we were all meant
I
to be
won't
there.
even
No,
deny.
I was there.
I think, you were there.
Yeah, he was there.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
He was
Hold on. Didn't you go?
Wait. Are we talking
No,
about?
you was there.
Wait, are we talking about
he came towards the
2021?
end.
No,
2020.
2020.
Oh, year return.
2019.
Yeah, I was there. Obviously, I saw you there.
Yeah.
We were all there.
But
We were all
that's what I'm
there.
saying.
We were
With the
there.
reception now, yeah, with COVID, because obviously when you went and you flew there, so hold on, you went this year, 2021.
I went from 2020 to 2021.
Yeah.
So I went in early December of 2020.
Oh right, and then went
And then
into.
That was a
Came
true
back.
enjoyment.
So what?
3 months
How was it?
was
How was it? What was the difference there? Like obviously now with lockdown, like was there clubs open? Was the New Year's the same? Or
Like, I believe the government realised that they couldn't just be locking things down in a time like Christmas because that's when the peas is.
yeah.
That's what people need to chop.
So what happened was I noticed that I think what was it? Like it must have been mid-January. Then they started talking about enforcing lockdown and all the chop bars, all the clubs, all the sports are shut. These times, like only a few weeks ago, for a solid 3 or 4 weeks, everything was open running as normal. And I think there was an actual surge. There was an actual increase in the number of infections. Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was a rise in cases.
And I think the numbers were definitely. You could definitely see that the clubs were not as packed as the year before, because obviously there was a lot of obstacles that had been put in place to get to Ghana when it came to traveling. So you had to get tests at in your destination. Oh, sorry, testing in the place that you're leaving,
Your home
and
country.
then the home country, and then test at Ghana in the airport. All of which were not cheap. So like I think the Ghana test alone was like $150.
Huh?
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Dollars?
Yeah, like if you
In
what's
Dallas.
It was, yeah.
if you took the whole like cost of you going to Ghana, like just testing wise, it could be more than your ticket.
Right.
Very much.
I'm there thinking it's 150 Ghana cities.
No.
They were Dallas. They were charging in Dallas.
They did well. So they drank.
They chopped nicely.
Yeah.
And then in UK, you obviously had to pay for your test here as well.
Yeah, I know, right?
So
Double
So that's
whammy.
like 100 and something pound.
It's not like that. Almost like
It's a nice
just under
European
3 bills both
holiday,
ways.
yeah, man.
yeah.
So that
Very
could
much so.
easily be more than your ticket.
That's
I'm
someone's
telling you.
wage for the
So
week, man.
so what you have to realise is only the people who truly like
Had to go.
had to go and had the means to, because a ticket in itself is quite expensive.
Yeah.
You know, when you go to
yeah.
Ghana, you have to come with your spending money.
Yeah.
You have family.
Yeah.
You've got
Gotta take care of them,
responsibilities
man.
and stuff.
This
So
stuff.
overall,
How
the cost implication of traveling during that pandemic is like it put off a lot of people, and I feel that translated in the amount of people we saw in the country at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it makes sense, man. Because if you're spending like, let's say, for average cost to go to Ghana, it's like what, £600 for like a decent economy class ticket,
Yeah.
and then you've now spent like 300 on going like testing. That's a good. That's a grand and a bit.
When you land, you're like, rah. You know what's that? You're like,
That's a
rah.
grand and a bit.
I'm holding to that. You know, thinking, but you know what? I might have to go out, Ray. I might have to just drink in my house.
And then you've got the visa cost as well.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Unless you
yeah,
got a passport.
You've got the
Yeah,
passport
let's
that's
go
cool, but
passport,
you've got the visa
Visa.
cost as well. So then it's like, before you look at it,
That would have put me off, man.
There's a whole lot.
That would have put me off.
There's a whole lot.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, so I feel, I think the last Christmas was cool. It was a vibe. Believe you me, I'd rather be there than
yeah, you could.
in
I
lockdown.
think the less you say about that, the better.
But yeah, it wasn't like, let's just say it wasn't like the year of return yet. That's what I would take from it.
But it was still popping. Like I heard, like even you had like Nigerians flying in because Nigerian clubs were closed and
Yeah,
stuff.
now Nigerians were enforcing their lockdown.
Didn't Burna Boy and Davido get into a fight or something like that?
It was crazy. You know,
Yeah,
actually, there's a few things that happened. But yeah, I think because, like, for instance, as Adrian mentioned, Nigeria they were actually enforcing their lockdown. They had a curfew, I think, by 12 or something.
They were lock up.
Everything shut.
Yeah, I saw some videos.
So a lot of people.
Saw some videos.
Yeah, I saw one. Did you see a video of that guy that got locked in the club?
Yeah.
He was holding it hostage. This guy said, "Listen, I'm just here to have fun, man. I don't want to get shot."
Hey.
There's a policeman packing with an AK.
That's about I'm not itchy finger.
You say,
Yeah.
I was gonna start really dancing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
making them dance with the bullets.
That's crazy, man. But and that's the thing with me, yeah. Because even now with Ghana, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the African Americans are there now. Quite a lot of them. Like Queen Afua's there. I know.
So many of them, man.
So a lot of them are
And the
literally
Canadians as well.
Canadians as well. Yeah, they've all gone out recently. So I'm just thinking to myself, like with us, yeah, and the diaspora, like, how do you see us going back? Because basically, I was chatting to my friend the other day, and she's saying to me, "Rah, Ghana and Jamaica, there's now a direct flight in it."
Wow.
You can go there without a visa, innit, between the two countries.
That's
Literally,
big.
yeah.
That's been around for a while, though. Like,
No,
if you ever
I
Jamaica-
wasn't that recently.
No. It's been recently.
Yeah, that's a recent.
Anywhere in the islands, you'd have to fly to Europe to go into.
Oh, as in
Africa.
flying.
Yeah,
flying there.
so from Jamaica directly to Ghana.
Okay. Oh, sorry, because I'm talking about the visa, the whole
Oh,
visa.
okay.
Like, you didn't
Oh,
need
yeah.
a visa.
Yeah, the
for- I
visa
think
thing,
it's been
yeah.
like 2-3 years. I think it's been
It's been
like
like
2-3 years.
Yeah, when Kofodo came into power, I remember that's what he
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what he
went
did, yeah.
Yeah, you went there, yeah.
So essentially, but
So now you have
obviously,
Jamaicans flying in now.
yeah, well, she was saying to me that what she don't want to happen is all the badness from Jamaica to fly into Ghana.
Oh, wow.
Because she's thinking about it in the sense of if a Jamaican man can see that everyone from London or the UK and America is in Ghana, and Ghana obviously right now is one of the fastest growing, you know, one of the in Ghana economies right
In
now.
Africa,
Yeah.
Are we going to get all the nonsense from Jamaica
It's a
coming over into Ghana as well?
But
Like,
at the same
yeah.
time, like, I think the thing is, like, when you think about those things, people that are on that kind of thing don't normally leave where they're at.
It's true.
Unless
yeah,
there's a
that's
ripe opportunity.
That's true.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to leave where you're at or you're already eating to come to somewhere else.
Yeah. And start afresh again. It's not
You're always going to get people that are on, like, whatever they're on, innit? But at the same time, like, and also that's part of the media perception of what Jamaicans are like.
True.
Majority of Jamaicans are not like that.
That's true. Yeah.
That's facts.
But obviously for her, she was just seeing it as in, because she's very conscious of that in the sense of like Ghana right now. It looks like Ghana and Gambia, like West Africa right now. It seems like it's going to be that breeding hub for new opportunities for the youth in the next 10 years, and then it will slowly spread. I mean, I'm not trying to say East Africa hasn't got it. I know
East Africa's popping.
it's popping as well, yeah. But I know the limelight is heavily on West Africa right now. Yeah. So, and it's like looking at all that stuff there. For me, I think to myself, you know, like, do you guys think to yourself at some point, like, what are we doing? Like, really, what are we doing here? Here, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, of course, all the time, bro.
Every day. What do you mean? Every day, every blessed day. I'm like, why?
All the
When I
time,
look
bro.
at that grey sky, and I realize, Che, back home there's sunshine daily.
Yeah.
I wonder to myself, what am I doing?
But like in terms of like, all right. So then why don't we move back then? Why don't we move back tomorrow?
Fear it. And also, bro, we're set up in the system here. Like, we've established ourselves in the system.
Yeah.
And creature comforts, I feel like we kind of like we have our creature comforts. We know what we like, and you're not necessarily going to be able to replicate that, or you might be able to replicate that in Ghana, but it's going to cost you, and maybe there isn't the financial means to live that.
You see, that's what I want to touch on. that mindset, yeah, like, do you think that is safe to think like that? In the sense of like, rah, you know what? Over here, I've got my Uber Eats. Let's look at average normal person. I've got my Uber Eats.
Yeah.
I rave and party on the weekend.
Yeah.
Boom, and I've got my job, yeah?
Yeah, but Ghana has all that as well.
Right, but then
Yeah.
essentially, is it helping the country?
What do you mean?
If a lot of us will all come over now with that mindset of trying to live like how we live in London, in Ghana.
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't help.
It wouldn't
But
help.
here's the thing, innit? Everything we're always gonna have to move forward and change things. Now, obviously, if we go there with our mindsets, yes, it wouldn't help. But then at the same time, it might change things in a different direction. Because obviously, when you go there, like you might have your thoughts. Like whenever we go there, we have our thoughts on what we want to do.
Of course,
But we don't always get to do everything we want to do when we go there.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like people always complain. I always hear people complain about the Chinese, the this, the Lebanese. But at the end of the day, guess what? They're there.
That's it there. And it's facts.
They're actually on the ground.
At least
I went to
they're
school.
there.
I went to school with Lebanese, and I went to school with Chinese people. Morning Star in Ghana.
Oh, you went to school in Ghana?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I lived in Ghana before, so I think that's why this whole moving to Ghana even for me is a lot easier, because I actually have my parents there and I've lived there as well. So
would
when I
you?
make the move soon, it's obviously it'll be a lot more seamless for me.
So you went to secondary school there? Was it primary school?
Secondary school.
Secondary school, because that's the idea I got for my son. That's what I want to do. I want to bring him in secondary, because I don't the state school here. Personally, for me, I don't think anyone learns anything. Which is how I'm coming from. I mean, can you not remember anything from school that you learned?
Put a Ghanaian secondary school against a UK secondary school and test their knowledge. You'd be
100%.
surprised how much the Ghanaian knows more than
The knowledge gap between the two countries is amazing.
Just
Yeah.
put it this way, right? When I moved to Ghana in 2001, I went to I did my 3 years there, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, instead of like Year 7, Year 8, Year 9, but maybe a little bit higher, right? I went to Ghana not really being smart, not really serious with education. I came back a flipping geek. Like, I was talking about maths, English, science all the time. Like, my family, my extended, my cousins thought I was crazy. Like, I was proper a geek. I was proper geeked out. And the thing I loved about going to school in Ghana is that, at least with the private schools out there, is that everyone's really, at least at the time, everyone's really competitive with studying. So like when you have exams and stuff coming out and whatever, people are really like studying hard to see who can come out on top. So like you actually see like when the results come out and stuff, you actually see like a register of like who came what position on each subject. So I remember one time that I came second in social studies in the school in Ghana, right? And I remember the social studies teacher saying in Ghana, right, this guy, he came from UK to come and kick your ass in this subject and he can't even do well. I'll never forget that, man. Because I remember I studied hard for that.
There's a different attitude towards education
in
in Africa anyway, because it's a privilege they see it as. I think because we get free education here, we kind of trivialize it. We take it for granted.
Yeah.
But there, especially if you're going to somewhere like Morningstar or one of those kind of private schools and stuff where you pay heavy fees.
Yeah. It's probably heavy now.
Yeah. I'm sure it's
way
going
more heavy than
it's
it is
going even
now.
higher.
Compared to my time.
People are gonna take it seriously because money. I know obviously recently we had the introduction of free HSS, but even still, like people are seeing education as a means to escape extreme poverty. We don't really have mad poverty here like they do in Africa.
There's also competition in it.
There's competition as well.
Yeah, because they don't see things. It's not like like here. It's like you can go to school and people just don't be bothered.
Very much.
You don't go to. You know, when I see
It's
this
sad, right? We don't see it as a privilege.
Do you feel like because for me,
yeah,
it's something I thought about the other day and I said to myself, you know what? I was watching one guy called Dan Pena, I think he's one of them.
Dan Pena,
he mentors a lot of those billionaires in America.
Dan Locke, all these
like he's one of those
entrepreneurs, what have you. Yeah.
And he was saying something to Vlad. It was on Vlad TV. It was an old interview, but he was saying to Vlad that look, I ain't passing down nothing to my children in terms of like riches, inheritance. Okay. So Vlad's like, bro, like what's the point if you do what you're doing, innit? And he said you got to look at the amount of rich children that F it up, that fuck it up.
True. Yeah, it's true.
Because they don't value, like you're saying, they don't value what they have. So essentially, he's going to put his children through the same sort of struggle that he went through.
Yeah.
But this time it's controlled. So for example, all right, cool, you live in a big house, you have the cars and whatnot, but you're broke. I ain't gonna be giving you. You know what's there? Like you gotta work for your money.
You don't have money.
know?
I have money.
I have money. So
Yeah.
and at first I was thinking
feel that.
that's peak, but then I thought, you know
No,
what?
it makes sense.
It makes because if you look at it
Bill
right
Gates
now,
does the same thing.
like think about it right now. Look at us here. Yeah, and you look at like you said, look at the Ghanaians. The guys over there are thinking, huh? You don't have an Uber Eats that brings the food to you while you study. My friend, you have washing machine, dryer. I'm not trying to say Ghana doesn't have these things, but we're talking about the average Ghanaian
Yeah.
that naturally would wash their clothes, hand wash their clothes, walk to school. We've got Uber. So in their head, I'm thinking, do you reckon, yeah, there will be a point in time where we will go over there and we will swap mindsets? So in the sense of like, we might then turn around and realize, raw, you know what, it's actually hard living in Ghana because essentially man can't consistently have what I have in Europe.
Yeah.
But then them in Ghana will be like, raw, look at all these British boys coming to bring all this stuff over here. We're going to embrace it. Do you it's something that that guy, Jesse Israel said. Vanessa Camby interviewed him. That model guy, he's in Ghana now, build it like, you know, he's got land and stuff like that.
Oh,
as well.
right. Okay, cool. I mean, she's done some interviews.
And he was saying that he feels with technology and the way things are going, it's good. But also we need to be careful that we don't destroy the natural culture of how Ghana is. So, you know, like walking to certain places and...
I mean, there's a lot of things that we who come from the diaspora will be able to bring that will benefit the country. But we also have to be mindful of the bad things that we want to leave here that we don't want to be bringing on.
It's
Right.
so
Like that,
true.
the fast, getting everything quick.
Yeah.
And not always looking at the way in which we can circumvent the process. Like we like our food fast. We want everything fast. Whereas in Ghana, it's more relaxed, more laid back,
Yeah.
more natural for starters because you're not processing foods. You're not living off of microwave meals and whatnot. Stuff is getting grown. So like we want to leave that mindset of the, let's say, microwave dinner mindset. And then come to the natural mindset.
This is the thing. But do you feel like, because let me give you an example, yeah? Well, I went to Ghana now and I must have left like, I think it was one iPhone charger or whatever on a microwave and some other stuff for my cousin and that, yeah? And it's now, I come back and it was like, my other cousin was like, look, you see, she hasn't stopped using this microwave. She's consistently using this thing, did it. So in my head, I said to myself, can you imagine if we literally come over here now and it literally reverses in the sense of, because remember, we're, not all of us, because a lot of us are coming just to chill and relax, which is cool, but there's some of us that are actually coming to make change. So even if it's just having like, you know, people like Wadimai and Vanessa Camby that do the YouTube channels to show people there's a better side to Ghana, there is someone that's going to follow behind that maybe and say, oh, you know what, maybe I can invest in there, sort of buying a property over here or, you know, but essentially, what is the plan? Because one thing I spoke to my dad about the other day was, what was the plan when you guys came over here?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, their plan was not to stay in it.
A lot of them weren't. Yeah.
A lot of their plans were not to stay.
But they stayed.
They got sucked into the
stuck in
system.
it.
You see that? And that's what I'm talking about. What you wanted, which was the different lifestyle. You put us in school, education and whatnot. But for the result, no one's really happy.
Yeah.
In fact, you're working towards a point like I was saying to my dad, I haven't met anyone in your generation that has fully retired off pension. Like they've retired off pension and they've not gone back to do work anywhere, not even part-time work. But there's still that aspect of, I've got to have something on the side, I've got to do a part-time here and there.
Yeah.
So for me, I was thinking to myself, what are we going to be going to Ghana to do essentially as diasporans? Because there is a wave of fun, there is a wave of partying and whatnot, which is cool.
Yeah.
And then we have the right to enjoy our country.
Yeah.
But then, at the same time, we don't want to be just only enjoying our country without repairing it, because there's some serious issues that have gone on back there. Serious issues where you can see anyone pass, from my observation, a lot of people, not all, but anyone past the mentality, like the age group of like 30, the mentality is a bit different. You know, the poverty's hit them to a point where, you know, if they could sell their mum, to an extent, if the price was right.
It's not the capitalism that they're living.
Right, do you see where I'm coming from? So if we're going to introduce capitalism over there...
It's already there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, even that.
It is there, but I feel like
Bit behind.
I feel it's there, but I feel like it's still at a point. It's at such an infancy that it's still at a point where it can be changed. Like here, I believe it's so intrinsic to this, the way that this system has been set up. Capitalism is the foundation, the bedrock. It's not going to change. But I feel like in Ghana or Africa, there's still opportunity to take what's been done incorrectly in other places and then learn from that and do something a bit different and evolve from the way things have been in a way that it's not always a zero-sum game where one has to lose in order for one to gain. That we can incorporate systems where it can be a win-win situation. But it's going to take people having a mindset and a desire to want to operate in that way before that can work. Like here, the rich, like this pandemic has even exacerbated the situation even more, that in the sense that the rich have gotten richer and the poor have gotten poorer.
I think true.
I think that's the general result across most of the Western world. We need, if we want to see a future for Ghana or a future for Africa, we need to find a way that we're not having these situations where people have to profit from others and one gains and one loses in order for there to be transactions or there to be an economy. Like we need an economy where it's I don't want to use science, but symbiotic, where they support and run
with the same thing. Yeah,
they live and support one another equally. That's what I think.
Yeah, because for me, my the way I'm seeing it is when I go back, I'm gonna just pretend like I'm a tourist. You know, I want to observe the situation, people, and just the mentality of Ghanaians there. Because as much as I've gone there and I've stayed there, I haven't lived there.
Yeah.
And it's a difference to, you know, when your uncle knows that, oh, you're coming here for a few weeks, to actually stay and he knows you're here permanently. His attitude might change and be like, right, okay, cool.
Differently, bro.
Yeah, now you're here permanently, bro. This is what I want from you.
Wait, hold on, sorry. Before we go, quick question.
Yeah.
Does everybody on this table plan to move to Ghana permanently? That's one question I wanted to.
Yeah.
So you're saying
100%.
Yes.
I'll probably be mix and match.
You want to be 50
mix and match?
I'll be mix and match.
I'm 100%. I'm 100%. I want to be there too.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
So we all know off the bat the premise of the foundation of this conversation is we all want to go back to Ghana. Now we want to know, if we're going back to Ghana, what is it we want to do in Ghana, right? How do we want Ghana to be, or what do we want to bring to Ghana when we go back is the question, I guess.
I guess for me, I want, even before I have my son, I want to actually help the mentality of the people grow to know what's in them and what's around them. So, for example, you know, you've got people that would have like a moringa tree just literally in their community, yeah? Just say, for example, there'll be probably a few of them. And they just walk past it day in, day out and not think to themselves that, like, maybe if I was to, during the season, dry some of these herbs, you know, converting, because it's not even that hard. I've done the process myself at home. Literally, you can dry it in the sun. Once you dry it in the sun, it gets all sort of, you know, crispy and whatever. You can actually blend it into a powder.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and then you can bag that up, and then you can turn around and say, right, you know what? Do you have anyone in London that wants to buy them? Because when you buy moringa, let's just say what pack is this? What's the like 160 gram, yeah? Of that in Holland and Barrett's, you're looking at least 12, 13, 14 pounds.
Of moringa.
And we don't even know where that's
in somebody's backyard.
Right.
Wow.
The goat's eating from. The goat's benefiting. You know what's there? The goat's benefiting more than man.
The Western markup, this is the crazy thing. Look at cocoa, right? Cocoa, right? Well, I heard Ghana make, what is it? They generate how many $1 billion from it? I think
it's $5 billion or something.
$5 to $7 billion a year from cocoa exports, whatever. But in the Western world, generates just under 200 billion from it. Staggering figures.
It's because we've not like
at the value, right?
We've been doing so much raw production, exportation, so that the processing has not been done in Ghana. So when you're only shipping the raw products, then you're not gonna benefit from the process.
Of course, yeah. Right. Obviously, they add the value to it. Yeah. Of course, that's where the extra money will come from. 100%.
So then, all right, let's just say
why can't Ghana add their value? But it's great because now we're starting to see Ghana chocolate factories.
We know the value.
Which is great.
Yeah,
we know the value when we're getting into the corner shop.
Not just King's Bites, eh?
Yeah.
It's not just King's Bites.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, King's Bites been there for too long. Now we're starting to see
there's some refined products coming out.
Yeah.
And I think that's that. And coming to your original question about when diasporans are coming to Ghana, what they're going to bring.
Yeah.
I think bringing that perspective of trying to refine and produce or process our raw goods rather than being exporters of raw products that we've always been since.
And then import the finished goods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's what even if you look at the balance of payments, is if you're always exporting the raw product and then you're importing the finished products, you're always going to be poor.
You're gonna
True.
be like it's a recipe for. Like, imagine like let's try and equate it to our lives. Imagine, let's think of an example of if we had something where we was giving out something raw, and then buying it back when it's been finished up. There's no scenario where you can export something raw, and then be importing it processed where you're gonna be better off.
Yeah, you're not going to be off.
There's no example of that.
Yeah, because it was weird for me to even hear with Jamaica that my brethren was like they import patties.
What? No, that's a
And then
lie.
With Ghana,
What?
they import chopped tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tin chopped
no,
tomatoes.
it's true, it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, it's
Literally.
true.
In my head, I was thinking
Wow, why can't we?
the back of my
tomatoes?
uncle's house,
We grow
it
tomatoes.
would be a tomato. It would naturally.
Just
But
grow
And
it.
there's also other systems in place to make it so that you need to now, or it's like if you go into like if you go into certain trade agreements, they're going to expect you to now also be buying some of the agricultural products from some of these countries. So because of that, it's like, you will have your own. Like for example, we still import rice, but we have Ghanaian rice there. But then it's also cheaper to purchase for the local person on the ground. It's cheaper for you to purchase the imported rice than is for you to buy the one that's been made in your country.
because the one that's been made in the country is not at a high demand.
It's not also that, but it's also if you've had subsidies on the rice that's been made outside your country, then it's subsidized.
So that means the governments of those foreign countries are supporting and investing in those rice producers of their indigenous countries.
To pop up their farmers.
Yeah.
So
Do
their
we grow
farmers are
rice in
getting the
Ghana?
benefit.
Wait, hold on. Do we grow rice in Ghana?
Yeah, we got
So
rice.
much
I
rice.
know that.
I
Yeah,
bring,
we got
when
rice.
one of my things when I come back from Ghana, I bring like at least 20 kgs worth of rice because
Really?
the rice that we produce here, a lot of it's been imported from like the Far East, and it's got preservatives, it's got additives to preserve it.
Arsenic.
Because
thing, yeah.
like this stuff has to stay on shelves for months.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long it takes
It's
to get
so
from
true.
China to our country.
So true.
But the Ghana rice now,
Yeah.
they're not adding all those preservatives because more time is for the indigenous market. So it's produced, bagged up, then they're putting it out there for people to buy. So for my health benefits, believe we as Ghanaians need to be producing our own, consuming our own rice, just for the fact that we care about our health alone.
Yeah.
Even if it costs more.
Yeah.
But then
That's the
most of the
beauty
people
of
are poor.
it.
Then, let's be honest.
And that's where it becomes tough.
And this is what I'm talking about, because what we just said right now actually makes sense as a plan. So like he's saying about, what Kwame's saying about the whole, subsidies and whatnot, and just naturally buying imported stuff because it comes with the contract.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that, we got to get rid of the Chinese man and we can work and negotiate a better contract. So I could set the table instead of, a Kweku or whatever, and then say, look, I know what you're up to. Them products that you're importing into our country, we naturally grow it. So we're not going to take those products if that's part of the deal. In fact, what we're going to do is, if you guys are going to produce your products, let's just say like the contracts peak, because these governments already, they've probably sold them to how many of these contracts.
So many.
We want to negotiate where we hire Ghanaian workers.
Simple.
Because a lot of the time, you find that with Chinese companies, not all, but those that come and build building construction, they will hire or they will get people from China from their prisons. They will empty out their prisons. Those that are doing like life sentences. And
That's
they'll
why
ship
they
to
come
Ghana.
and do madness in our countries. Because they're criminals.
Because the people that you see, I'm coming from. You're not actually. If they was to send the actual top class Chinese man there, cool. You may still get a bit of classism and racism and whatever, but there will be a bit more understanding and respect and a bit more. They're sending in the lower level.
But this goes down to like us actually, our government's actually being held accountable. There's one thing that I think that we can bring is transparency. It's the need for transparency, and all these contracts that are being signed. Yes, everybody has their own kind of personal point of view about them, but we don't actually know what the terms of the contracts are. We need to actually know what the terms of the contracts are.
It's true.
And also, like for example, you're talking about negotiating with different, like with China or the USA. At the end of the day, if you look at Ghana in comparison to China or Udi, we're not a big country. So if you're going to the negotiating table, from my point of view, is we need to go as a bigger block. So that, for example, if you look at the EU, for example, if they're going to negotiate with just Germany or France, or let's say for example even Portugal, it's like nobody will go just negotiate with Portugal because Portugal's a tiny country. But if you go as the EU now, you're going as a block. So you have a lot more leverage behind you.
So if ECOWAS was to sit at the table, and negotiate with, because China's probably got contracts in all over West Africa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
So
100%.
and that's the thing. What you're saying is, I agree with that, and that's why I feel like the transparency that's a key word. You know, it's definition podcast, and we're going to put the definition of transparency on there. Because I feel like that's the problem with the people in Ghana versus because remember, a lot of the leaders, they went to school here, they studied here, they know here, but the people don't. So what the people do is they're not getting the fact of that raw, like, all right, cool. Like, I'm not trying to say that like I can't be saying obviously they're poor. I'm not trying to say that they don't struggle, but there is other ways they can make money.
Yeah.
Whilst, because remember, Ghana, one thing I like about Ghana in terms of starting a business and getting people in, it can happen fast.
If there's money.
If there's money, it can happen very, very fast. You know what's there?
Yeah.
Like,
No, money can make money if you know how to play it.
but it's like, you know what's there? But it's like if we all put into collectively, let's just say 30 grand, and we started a car wash.
Yeah.
But because we understand the nature of how Ghanaians may see us, although we're Ghanaian, they may like look at these, buggers or whatever, or bronies. We can brand it in that fashion, so it promotes that for them to come and wash their car there. Do you see where I'm coming from? We can also look at logistics and say, alright, if normally when a man comes to wash his car, he's always with his child or his wife or whatever. You know, like them times we used to get a haircut after church or before church, but your mum would just literally leave you at the barber,
Just go.
go and do what she's doing, go shopping and do whatever.
To the market. And
Right? Why not create a playroom or a space where kids can actually come, sit down. They don't have to have like anything major going on, but it could just be like a room for them to socialize and whatever.
Keep them entertained.
Have a barber shop all as one unit within this car wash.
That's mad still.
That's mad.
You see it? That's one idea I'm releasing, I'm going to trademark that idea of yours.
It's like
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, say that again.
He's like,
You know what it's different?
no, let me just take some notes.
And then we're flying over there and we're like, bro, we can get the rental that we're taking out, our own cars out there, wash at the same time, get your hair done, get your hair cut, at the same time chop as well, because obviously, and that's the thing about Ghana, the food.
Oh, the food.
The food is so, bro, it's accessible everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
It's so damn good.
Bro, I mean,
This guy, man.
He's enjoying.
trust me. It's still in his system.
Yeah, man,
It's
we
still
said that,
still
you're
there.
like-
3 months of enjoyment.
It's
Just like,
No, I feel you.
You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking, like, the education side of it doesn't actually have to be a thing where we got to go there with books and whatnot. We can literally just locate communities just like us and just chat with them. I was even thinking I want to take Definition Podcast to Ghana at some point, where I could actually sit with local people. And that, like how Link Up TV will go up on the road and they'll, like Harry Pinero will go and interview people and whatnot. Imagine doing that in Ghana, but in the sense of you're chatting to people about things that are needed in their community. Do you know the ones there? Like you can say to one sister and say, look, why one for the lighting? What do you mean why one for the lighting? The lighting, yeah, but do you understand the process of getting lighting? Have you not gone to your MPs and looked at the process of trying to get the lighting sorted? Oh, we haven't, but they're not gonna. Yeah, right. But then if you haven't done it, do you see where I'm coming from?
It's a Ghanaian mentality.
Right.
But I think there needs to be more. I feel like the Ghanaian generation, like us, our generation,
or
even below us, and the diaspora have a lot more in common because of the fact that we've got technology where information can be shared. But I feel like we still need to be having dialogues because they're in a system where, like, me and my brother was getting into this with people like taxi drivers, whatever, about why are the gutters open, and these people are trying to justify it. So, look. The fact is, the gutters should not be open.
But there's no sewage system,
But the thing is,
It's just
why is it that every new road they're constructing, they're going to construct with the gutter open? Like, at least if you're going to construct new roads, like try and start with the basis of, all right, we're going to build this new road. Let's do it with the gutters closed, so that every road there onwards will have closed gutters. Before you know, when you come to repair an old road that has an open gutter, you just cover the gutter. Then you close all gutters, and then we don't have any issues with open sewage or people throwing plastics into the gutter or creating breeding grounds for mosquitoes. Like people getting malaria. Like there's so many implications of having your gutters open. But because I suppose there's just 1,001 other things that these people are going through. Open gutters is kind of low on their list of priorities. But for me, these are things that they need to be addressed. Like,
yeah, it's true. You know, and what you're saying is true, because I do look at that and think to myself, you're parking the Range Rover
your car's so nice
next to the Banku chop bar with the gutter open.
Yeah. And literally, if you're not careful, you might just fall into the
You
gutter.
could easily just,
What's happened?
Bro,
Yeah.
that's
No,
health safety is peak.
100%.
Brother,
I've
I've been so scared of falling into that gutter. I know that I've jumped gutters bigger than
For no
I've jumped
reason.
before. For no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason. You know what's there? Like, I've seen the gutter bigger than this table, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm gonna make it, because I'm not gonna jump in that.
I'm gonna make it.
I said, I'm not going to jump in that.
car, it could be mad for you afterwards. Who knows what
You don't know what's in
that
there.
place with.
You genuinely don't know what's in there.
Listen.
You genuinely don't know what's in there.
Trust me, bro. And for me, I sit there and I think to myself, it's a mentality, because people in Ghana do have the money, they just don't have the mindset. Because that's what I'm learning now. Because even like with like Wodemaya's videos and stuff that I've been seeing, he's been interviewing that guy, man, that Gambian boy. What's his name again?
Is it the guy with Cheddar?
Yeah. So not Jacob Caesar, the other one.
The other one, the one he's with, Samuel.
Samuel, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like one of them sort of, I wouldn't even call him a revolutionary, because I don't think he's on that revolutionary stuff in terms of that, but he's in a really conscious mindset of working with diasporans and having the African mind opened up to certain things. So for me, it's like, even with someone like him, you can have a conversation, that's cool, we can do a podcast. What's the follow-up?
Yeah. What's the practical?
What's the practical?
What are we going to do from here?
Yeah.
Right. And if it's a thing where, like I was talking to my friend today, and I was saying to her, because she used to do teaching and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I was saying to her, what I'm finding in Ghana is that, you can actually help influence the curriculum a little bit more easier than over here.
Okay.
Just where I'm coming from. So maybe that could be an avenue that we could say, we can get that Gambian boy to come over and do maybe a few sessions in like the primary school sort of. As long as we donate some money towards that school, we can turn around and say, look, like, remember, a lot of them don't really need that much. Like, you can turn around and see someone that ain't even got a shelter, or they haven't even got books or whatever. Maybe donating that, you can say, look, if I'm giving you X amount, to cover your building, so that when it rains, you don't have to use palm trees or whatever. Not in a disrespectful way.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we could bring this guy in to teach you lot about X, Y, and Z?